Welcome to 1,000 Days of Grind. My name is Michael, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what 1,000 Days of Grind actually is. Now, I've tried to do this several times, but I've found myself in a point in life where I'm really beat down. A few months ago, I got to my absolute worst, where I ran out of money for the last of my car insurance, my cell phone, everything was lapsing, and the job that I had lined up seemed to be falling through the cracks, and I was able to pawn my laptop and make enough money to get gas, and I'll be able to continue working. I started this Wednesday of this week, and I'm going to be able to escape eventually 6 figures worth of student loans and, a life that to me hasn't been particularly worth living. And me as a person, I've always had a goal of kind of changing the world, doing something for other people. I've always wanted to help others and improve them and empower them to be able to bring out whatever special they have within them. I'm always a big fan of believing that people have something special or some purpose in life to find and to accomplish, a goal to accomplish. And, I've been unable to do so. And, at my worst, I had a lot of time to think. I've had my own trials and tribulations. One of the things I was thinking about what evil is, what evil means, and I've kind of landed on a definition of basically if someone's intentionally causing another person to suffer, that is evil. And that brings a lot of philosophical questions and comparisons to different actions, but ultimately it also defines how my perception was and how one-dimensional I saw the world and how I approached this problem of changing the world. And so I would always kind of look at who are the victims of the world and who are the oppressors, and how am I going to be able to stop that? And at the same time, I have these grand ideas of increasing my reach through YouTube and Twitch, and ultimately doing so well at my work that I'm going to be, financially able to participate in lobbying and help change the laws. And I spread myself so thin, and I just continue to sacrifice so much of myself that I wound up in a really unhealthy place. And it's not like the plan itself wouldn't work in an ideal circumstance, but unfortunately it would require things to work out so perfectly with such minor deviation that in the real world, in my personal experience, it was impossible. It relied on honesty of others, people to keep their word and their agreements, and it was too idealistic. And upon sacrificing myself, I got down to where I was completely destroyed. So I've decided to switch gears because I've just found that, I've restarted 1,000 Days of Grind. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to commit to spreading myself thin. I'm going to do all these tasks and write them down and just crush it and crush it and crush it. And then when sunset comes, I'll sleep, and when I wake up, I will be a machine and attack it again. And that failed several handful of times, and I think the adjustment that I need to make, as cliche as it may sound, is working on myself. And it's not that I've given up on trying to change the world. I just don't think what I was doing would work. In a perfect world, it would. But we don't live in a perfect world. So right now, I've started this new job. I'm kind of in Zen mode, if that makes any sense. I just feel like I've gone through a war and the dust is settling, and I'm just accepted where I am and what I have to work with. And I want to move forward. I want to focus on, getting back in shape. I'm right at that age where I'm worried as I move forward, my body won't recover and respond as well to an athletic routine. So I'm going to seize this time to get in the best shape of my life. I'm also going to work on my mental. being as emotionally healthy as I can, and learning as much as I can, being as sharp as possible, working on my memory and all of my skills and my knowledge. And I'm not looking to do that all at the same time. I'm looking to develop habits and do all this kind of slowly, and build a foundation for myself. And I've started with things like trying to get more sleep, and simple things that are working really well, like my fatigue in the afternoons has been something I fought with my whole life, and I continue to experiment, and found out that drinking caffeine right when I wake up was causing me to be tired in the afternoon. And that works because your caffeine binds to a receptor that normally receives the information from your body that you're tired. So when you wake up, you feel groggy. It's the same thing that makes you feel tired and groggy. And so when you drink caffeine immediately, instead of being able to deal with all of those chemicals binding to that receptor and saying, hey, you're tired, instead of letting them fade, you're holding them off with caffeine. And then as soon as that caffeine wears off in that afternoon, it hits you, and suddenly you feel like you did when you just woke up. You're just absolutely zapped. I'm trying to change simple habits like that and build myself up. I'm now able, having pawned my laptop, to eat red meat and salad as my primary two foods. And I buy a few snack foods, but I'm probably budgeting under $300 a month for food, which is a huge amount for me. But I had been eating, flour and water pancakes, and I finally got yeast at one point, was making my own bread, and I was eating dried beans and buying some bananas and jalapenos, very cheap foods. And now, already, before I've gotten my first paycheck with my new job, I am already able to eat healthy, and I'm going to maintain that. And all this debt I have, they're going to have to garnish me. They're going to have to garnish my paycheck, take 25%, and I'm happy to live with that. I have no intention of not paying them, but my focus and attention is all at building myself up. And I think as I go and I become the best version of myself, I'll have adapted a great foundation for changing the world. And I don't know if at that point you flip the switch and you go down to from sun up to sunset. You're just going hard because now you're able, and you're more well adapted to, and you have more resources as far as energy and money and all of that. Or if changing the world is more about doing things and having your own bubble of the thing that you do, your work and your hobbies, and having them grow and expand, and as that happens, you gain the attention of people and you change their lives. And I'm not sure if that's the way it is. I think that might be the more realistic way to change the world. And maybe one day I'll have the opportunity to see victims and be able to find their oppressors and solve a problem by stopping the victims from being oppressed. But I don't know. I'm not sure how realistic that is. I have a symbol on my back tattooed that to me is change the world. So I won't ever forget, and I won't ever stop. But this is my new 1,000 days of grind. I have time to breathe, and I'm really just focused, laser focused on one thing, and that is just my current paced self-improvement. So if you want to hear more, it's day 4 for me right now. You can hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you have anything you want to ask, leave them in the comments down below. If you have a topic you want me to talk about, or you need some advice, I'll won't just use my mind. I'll scour the internet for you and do my best to help you as a person with whatever you're going through too. But until next time, I hope you guys take care of yourselves and find some ways to help people out there, alleviate their suffering, do good for the world, and as always, be your very best. Michael, out.